This is the 18 WJTS News. In tonight's news, Dean Vonderheide is named the new mayor of Jasper. Residents of the town of Santa Claus, your input is needed on a comprehensive plan survey. And Barry Day, Superior Ag President and CEO, inducted into the 2018 Cooperative Leadership Circle. And on WJTS Inform, Jan Dugan, Purdue Extension educator, has mindful eating suggestions for the holidays. All to come on 18 WJTS TV News. Good evening. I'm Bill Potter with the WJTS News. Jasper has a new mayor. Dean Vonderheide has been selected by the Republican Caucus of Precinct Committee persons. Vonderheide will follow Terry Seitz as mayor effective next Tuesday, January 1st. He will fill the remaining 1 year of Seitz's term. Seitz announced on December 13th that he will resign from the office effective at the end of the year in order to take a position on newly elected U.S. Senator Mike Braun's staff after the first of the year. Republican committee members in districts that vote for mayor heard comments from candidates, voted, and elected Vonderheide shortly after noon today as the successor to Seitz. The caucus was held in the Pfaffenweiler Room at the Jasper City Hall. Newly appointed Mayor Dean Vonderheide spoke with the press shortly after the selection announcement.
First of all, I'm delighted to be elected in the caucus to serve as the next mayor of Jasper. You know, we've got a great momentum going in the city, and I want to keep that momentum going. Being very progressive and leading us into the future. People like Levi as a candidate, you know, it just shows you that our young people are interested in what we're doing to set the stage for their engagement. That is one of my plans.
Vonderheide is currently on Jasper City Council. Others vying for the job included current City Council member Nancy Eckerly, as well as residents Levi Hulsman and Bernie Fallon. An early morning fire heavily damaged, if not destroyed, a popular sports bar in downtown French Lick today. Orange County Dispatch says the fire broke out shortly after 5 o'clock this morning at the Wolf's Den Sports Bar along North Maple Street. Firefighters battled the blaze for roughly 3 hours before it was declared under control around 8:30 this morning. It's not yet known what caused the fire, which forced the closure of Highway 56 through French Lick, but the roadway was reopened at around 10 o'clock this morning. A Vanderburgh County man was placed under arrest Christmas evening after authorities received the report of an intoxicated driver at a Huntingburg convenience store. Around 8:45 last night, officers with the Huntingburg Police Department were called to Huck's in reference to a possible intoxicated driver who pulled his car into the store's parking lot. When they arrived, officers located the suspect's vehicle and the driver, 30-year-old Magir Salvador of Evansville, who police say was still in the driver's seat. Police say Salvador appeared to be highly intoxicated and agitated when spoken to and will also denied to have been driving the vehicle. Witnesses told police, however, that Salvador had been driving. A field sobriety test was conducted, which police say Salvador failed. A portable breath test showed his blood alcohol content at 0.18%. Police say Salvador would not perform any other OWI test and became extremely uncooperative. They say he had to be forced into a patrol vehicle in which he attempted to escape several times and had kicked at a door window. Salvador was further restrained, at which time he tried to kick officers and allegedly made several threats towards police. He was taken to and booked into the Dubois County Security Center in Jasper on felony counts of operating while intoxicated with a prior, attempted battery on a public safety officer, attempted escape, obstruction of justice, and intimidation directed to a public safety official. He is also facing misdemeanor counts of driving with a suspended license, resisting law enforcement, and disorderly conduct. Indiana's unemployment rate stands at 3.6% for November and remains lower than the national rate of 3.7%. With the exception of 1 month when it was equal in October of 2014, Indiana's unemployment rate now has been below the U.S. rate for more than 5 years. The monthly unemployment rate is a U.S. Bureau of Labor statistic indicator that reflects the number of unemployed people seeking employment within the prior 4 weeks as a percentage of the labor force. The Indiana Department of Workforce Development says the state's labor force had a net increase of 2,216 over the previous month, a result of a 2,122 increase in unemployed residents and an increase of 94 employed residents. Indiana's total labor force, which includes both Hoosiers employed and those seeking employment, stands at 3.4 million, and the state's 65.1% labor force participation rate remains above the national rate of 62.9%. We'll have local county-by-county unemployment numbers tomorrow on the WJTS News. 2 newly elected Du Bois County officials recently attended statewide training with the Association of Indiana Counties. Du Bois County Clerk-elect Amy Kippenbrook of Jasper and Du Bois County Recorder-elect Jackie McFerrin of Huntingburg took part in the association's newly elected officials seminar held December 12th through the 14th at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in downtown Indianapolis. The 3-day conference was held for Indiana's newly elected county officials from all 92 counties. The seminar training included such topics as purchasing, open door law, employee and employer issues, State Board of Accounts overview, and basics of county budgeting. Various other state agency representatives from the Indiana Department of Labor, of Local Governance, Finance, the Indiana Secretary of State's Office, and the Indiana Secretary of State's Office, as well as the Auditor's Office, also discussed a variety of issues specific to different county offices. Office holders who attended the conference also met during a breakout session with their affiliate associations. Kippenbrook and McFerrin will take over their respective offices after the first of the year. CHS hosted their annual meeting December 6th and 7th in Minneapolis, Minnesota. During the meeting, 9 cooperative leaders joined the Cooperative Leadership Circle and were recognized for 25 years or more of service to the cooperative system. Superior Ag's President and Chief Executive Officer Barry Day was one of the inductees honored for the 2018 Cooperative Leadership Circle. Day has 35 years of service to the cooperative system. CHS President and CEO Jay Durbiton presented commemorative watches to the Cooperative Leadership Circle inductees who attended a special reception at the annual meeting. Since 1973, CHS has honored more than 1,100 cooperative general managers and CEOs for their long service. The Cooperative Leadership Circle recognizes those leaders who have served 25 or more years, including a minimum of 10 years as manager. The Davies Community Hospital Foundation continues to work to raise funds for a new oncology center at the hospital. Spokesperson Angie Steiner says an oncology center will make it so people won't have to travel elsewhere to receive treatment. Currently, the hospital provides cancer treatment with the exception of radiation. Money raised by the foundation will be used for construction, equipment, and furniture for the center. Officials hope to raise $300,000. They currently have a little more than $80,000. Steiner says employees of the hospital have been generous in giving to the cause. And if you are a resident of the town of Santa Claus, your input is needed. The Comprehensive Plan acts as a guide for future decision-making and is a required element in the many grant and other fundraising initiatives. The Town of Santa Claus Comprehensive Plan was adopted early, a quarter of a century ago. Many things have changed since that time. The town is currently updating that plan and wants to incorporate the thoughts of residents regarding the town's future. A survey to gather information has been prepared by Morley & Associates and is available now for all town residents in Santa Claus to access online at townofsantaclaus.com. Alternately, a paper version can be obtained by downloading it from the town's website, or you may pick up a copy at the Santa Claus Town Hall, the Christmas Lake Village office, or the community center. The survey will close January 31st, 2019 at 4 p.m. State Representative Ron Bacon of Chandler says he will introduce a bill in the upcoming legislative session requiring the use of seatbelts on UTVs, or utility task vehicles, when off private property. In addition, Bacon is proposing that children be required to use a booster seat like the kind they would use in a car to ride on an UTV, that is. UTVs are off-road vehicles that can usually carry from 2 to 6 passengers. He says many injuries related to UTV use are a result of seatbelts not being worn. In 2017, Bacon co-authored Kate's Law requiring helmets for those under the age of 18 operating an off-road vehicle, unless for agricultural purposes. Since the law was enacted, there have been no ATV-related deaths involving Hoosier children under the age of 18. Bacon says although the current law seems to be saving young lives, there are still improvements to be made. Now please stay tuned. Weather, sports, and Inform featuring Jan Dugan, Purdue Extension educator, are all still to come on 18 WJTS News.